All right, let's go now to Tennessee. We'll talk with Brown. Hey, Brown, what do you got for us today?
Hey, Pastor Farley, it's good to hear from you. I just wanted to ask a question about replacement theology. It's something I heard a minister speaking about, and I don't understand what's about.
Okay, yeah. All right, well, let's talk about that because what replacement theology is a bit of a moving target because people often will accuse somebody like you or me or others and say, well, you've got a replacement theology because you're getting rid of Israel, and you're saying that every instance in which Israel occurs in the future is now replaced with the church. And that's not really, well, that's not what I believe. That's not what you believe, I'm sure. So what I'm trying to say is sometimes it can be a straw man, but it's the belief that basically the church today has replaced Israel in God's plan, and that all the promises, and maybe the key word there is all the promises made to Israel in the Old Testament are now fulfilled in the church. But sometimes when God's speaking to Israel about Israel, sometimes that prophecy is fulfilled in Israel. So the church doesn't need to dominate or take over any role that Israel might play. We got Romans 11, it makes it clear that God has not rejected his people. Paul writes, he says, did God reject them? By no means. I am an Israelite myself, a descendant of Abraham from the tribe of Benjamin. God did not reject his people. Then you look at other passages that are real difficult. How about Romans 11? Oh my goodness, it says all of Israel will be saved. Well, how can you understand that all of Israel will be saved? Well, in context, I believe Paul is talking about he who is a Jew inwardly, an inward Jew with a circumcision of the heart. So there's only one way that, quote, all of Israel could be saved, because how are we saved? Well, we're saved by faith in Christ. That's the only way we're saved. So are we saying then in Romans 11 that every Jewish person is going to have faith in Christ? I don't think so. There are Jews today, and already Jews who've passed away, who reject Christ. They reject him as Messiah. They are not saved. So we have to allow some room here for Paul to speak of a spiritual Israel with a circumcision of the heart. He is a Jew who is one inwardly, Paul says. So we have to allow some room for that. Otherwise, we're just scared to death of this big straw man called replacement theology, and then it completely ruins our ability to interpret the New Testament the way that the Apostle Paul intended it to be understood. Ephesians chapter 2, it says that God tore down the dividing wall between Jew and Gentile. We're all one in Christ. So what is the healthy view? The healthy view is that Jew and Gentile are now together. Is the Jewish person ignored in the gospel? Of course not. Are they disrespected? No, of course not. They're included in the gospel. In fact, the Gentile is the one that was grafted in. The Jews were there first, and the Gentile is grafted in as a wild olive branch. So there's reason to have great admiration and respect for the nation of Israel, the lineage, the heritage, the prophets, the history, all of the Old Testament. Oh my goodness. You know what? That's worthy of honor and respect. And yet, we can't say that there's a different gospel for the Jews. We can't say there's a different future for the Jews. We can't say there's a totally different path for the Jews. Some people are claiming those things, and that's not sound. It's not sound teaching, because the Apostle Paul, who was himself a Jew, is telling us that there's neither Jew nor Gentile. We're all one in Christ. All right? So that's the balancing point. Incredible respect for Israel. Historically, the Old Testament, oh my goodness. I mean, God's people, God's chosen people. Now, what is God doing through Jesus? When the Son of Man is lifted up, he will draw all people unto himself. So that means all of a sudden there's a gospel invitation that's worldwide. It's not just about Israel. It's about everybody, anyone who calls on the Lord. So we have to have a nice, beautiful, balanced view of Jew and Gentile coming together in Christ. And, when people start throwing out that label of replacement theology, I guess what they are fighting against is when you substitute the church in there for any mention of Israel in the future, any mention of Israel in a prophecy, and then that can get dicey. But to be honest with you, I haven't met a lot of replacement theologians, replacement theology people. It's a bit of a straw man and a moving target. The Scripture is very clear on Jew and Gentile being one in Christ. Thanks for your call today. I'll put you back on and see, Brown. Does that help clear it up?
It does. I really appreciate it. I had no idea what that meant.
Okay,
Thank you.
You bet. Well, call us back anytime. That was a good question.